Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dirt Riffs. I'm here with my heterosexual life partner himself.
Mayvizzle too, baby. And I just wanted to welcome you all to the another episode of the Dirty Death Podcast. This is where me and my friend Dirt Riffs talk about what's going on in the death metal scene. We talk news and give you the rundown on all the labels and releases you need to look out for. We also talk about what's going on in our lives. And there's been a lot going on in my life lately. You know, I actually haven't showered in 2 days, so I'm straight up living like a true metalhead right now. I'm pretty ripe. Are you ripe over there right now in your seat, bro? No?
Hell no.
Fresh
Hell no.
showered, feeling like a
Oh, dude, I
baby?
shower every day. I live by this code. I'm a big guy, and you can't be a big guy and smelly. You got to pick one.
Oh, yeah, big guy or smelly.
And yeah, you can't be both. That's just no go for me.
But if
Sorry.
you're a little
That's,
guy, you can be smelly?
I mean, I guess when you're a big guy, you don't smell them from up at a higher altitude, you know? I don't know. I don't know how science works.
It's just a looming, noxious fucking cloud. Like when you're just walking around, just like stinking on people and shit. Like you gotta
Like
manage that
Pigpen
shit.
from Peanuts.
Yeah. Just like a fucking cloud going around and shit. I've been there, man. I got a funny story to tell you actually. Now that we talked about that, this is totally a tangent. But my uncle used to say funny shit all the time. Because he wouldn't care. He's smoking pot and didn't give a fuck really. Like when we were kids, we'd be playing video games and he'd be bullshitting and shit. And my uncle fucking says to me one time, I was like, man, I was staying at his house and I was like, I don't want to take a bath, man. And he was like, look, dude, you've been here for like 5 days. I was probably like 9 years old, He's like, you've been here like 5 days. You need to take a fucking bath, bro. And I was like, nah, like I don't want to. And he was like, look, I remember when I was your age, I used to do the same shit. I'd leave the ring around the toilet and and
What?
and me and my cousin started fucking cracking up because he said ring around the toilet instead of ring around the bathtub. And like I was like, what the fuck were you doing on the toilet, man? And shut the fuck up. you fucking kids. You know what I mean,
Oh my god.
He was great, dude.
That's a nasty toilet, bro.
Yeah, man. Fucking nasty fucking toilet. Leaving the ring around the toilet. So yeah, everybody watching this, don't follow Dirt Riff's advice. Don't follow mine. Make sure to take, even though this is the Dirty Death podcast, I thought that was the point of
Yeah,
this
you
shit.
know what? I'm the cleanest guy named Dirty.
Yep, he's the cleanest dirty guy you know. Fucking
Yeah. For real. Clean hair, bro. Bam.
yeah, looking like Jesus.
Yeah.
Yo, fucking, they're gonna hit you to play Jesus in the Passion too. I would.
You know what?
I'd
That's
believe
that's
it.
the one thing I need to get rid of. I have been lazy lately. I will say that. I have not shaved my face in quite some time, and that is I've done that before. I've had a beard before, but it's not really like something I enjoy doing all the time. It's a lot of work, and it's like it gets like knotted and like not knotted, but like tangled and shit, you know? I don't know. I don't know.
You look
I need
like
to get rid
Jesus.
of it. Plus,
you gotta grow it out.
that's the other
It looks
thing.
good.
That was my point. Okay, now I went off for a second there, but that was my point was I I have long hair, and there's one thing I can like I don't feel like I can get away with long hair and a beard. It's very like a Jesus look, you know? Not that that's a bad thing. It works for some people, but like I don't dig it.
I like it, man. I like. What's funny though? You complimented a while back. You complimented my mustache, and I had focused on growing it like for a while, and I was like, you know what? I got this shit down. I kept shaving, and I just left the mustache at one point, and it started growing. It started getting long, and it started getting all crazy, and it's turning red because I've always had red facial hair, which is weird.
Yeah.
So
I have that too.
it's strange, right? And my head or my head was growing, my mustache was growing, and you made my head grow about it because you were like, hey, I just wanted to say, I was talking to you, I was like stressed the fuck out and talking about some random shit with you guys, and I was like, man, this shit happened, I don't fucking know what's going on, da da da. And you were like, hey, hold on, I understand, the serious situation, but I just wanted to compliment your mustache. It looks really good. and and I was like, thank you. Like, I was like, yeah, I've been working on that. And fucking you gotta apologize to my wife because she did not like my mustache and she wanted me to trim it or shave it or like, just keep it short. At least she likes it when it's short enough to where it's not like overbearing and going in my mouth and my nose and shit. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I like it. I'm brushing it every day. It's like getting long. And I ended up having to fucking shave my mustache, and I was like, fuck, man, I can't do it. So thank you for the compliment on the facial hair, but
Yeah, dude.
maybe don't take my compliment while I compliment your facial hair, because it looks great and it might be great in theory, but there are issues that come along with facial hair. You
You
get
know,
food in it, it gets
yeah.
messy. You got to
Like
remember to.
Loki, I used to spend way too much money on facial hair. Way too much because there's this place in Boise, and I'll plug it because I love that place. The Beardsmith, I've talked about it on here before.
Yeah.
It's a really cool place. I used to go there when I had a beard and like not long hair. I went there religiously once a month, and I always bought like beard grease and like stuff for my hair. It was bougie, bro. It was hella bougie.
My
But
beard
it
is
was like,
bad and bougie.
yeah, it was like fucking haircut, beard cut, fucking beer, like fucking the grease and shit.
How
80
the
bucks every
fuck?
time.
How the fuck do you have a beer while they're shaving your beard? Aren't they gonna
So
cut your
here's the
face?
thing: is the barber shop shares a wall with a bar next door,
Oh, okay.
and they put saloon doors in the middle so that when you get there for your haircut, they're like, "Hey, you want a beer while you wait?" And the barber will give you a token, and you go sit and have a beer while you wait until he's ready for you.
Man, I wish the places were like
Boss,
that out here. What's funny?
boss.
They have beer at the barber shop I go to out here. It's like
Yeah,
really small though. There's like only 3 seats in there, and
yeah,
I'm like afraid to ask for the beer. It's not like it's advertised. It's like a like paper written sign on it that says like
yeah.
have a Bud Light with your thing. And I'm like, am I gonna ask them how much it costs? Like, do I have to pay like $6? Is it gonna be a two
For
dollar
this
beer?
room temperature Bud Light.
Yeah, like I want to knock out. Like I'll knock out a 6 pack. That's the other thing too. What's the proper etiquette? Is it okay to get
Yeah.
totally fucking smashed at the barber?
Um, I don't know. See, because we're talking about Boise on my end. Like, there's a lot of craft beer drinkers in Boise. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, when I would go there, I was always getting porters, and I would get one and maybe get like halfway into it and be pretty toasty.
Ooh. Speaking of porters too, man, and darker beers. I actually, my favorite beer has been unable to be found in my immediate area for the last couple years. And this, I have finally determined it. This is my favorite beer. My favorite beer they don't make anymore. But I was finally able to locate some Arrogant Bastard Ale. Yeah,
Oh,
it's so fucking good. I went to Bevmo. I told my wife the other day, I'm like, you know what? I want to get a 6 pack of Stone, just regular Stone, right? So we go to Target because that's fucking where everybody buys everything now. And
yeah.
I'll get more into Target later in the show. But yeah, so we go to Target and fucking they don't have the Stone. They only have like Lagunitas. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want Stone. And then I'm like, you know what? Do they have Arrogant Bastard out here still? Like, is that still a thing? And I know they don't have it at like Safeway, the major stores and shit. You can't find it anywhere. So I Googled it and it says it's available in Bevmo and like Oceanside, California. And I'm like, fuck, that's so fucking far. I'm never going to have Arrogant Bastard ever again. And I tell her, take me to Bevmo and I'm going to go get some Stone. They probably got some Stone there. I'm looking for it. I go over there and Arrogant Bastard is on the shelf in tall cans. I bought 6 fucking tall cans. It was like $20, bro, for a 6 pack. It was
Yeah.
19 ounces, but I was so happy to have it, and I know I'm going to enjoy all of it. I already had like a couple of them yesterday, and they're fucking delicious. And I love that beer, bro. It's like the perfect mixture of like, it's almost like a porter like type beer. Like it's almost like a dark beer. It's such a dark
It's
IPA.
like it's almost like a hazy IPA in a sense. It has like that hazy kind of like taste to it.
And you pour it, when you pour it, it looks like a Guinness,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah, that stuff's good.
yeah, it's delicious, man. I missed Arrogant Bastard because they used to make one called the Double Bastard. So Stone used to make all the Arrogant Bastards, and then I guess they separated. The creator of it separated from the company, and he started his own microbrewery where he was brewing a bunch of different bastards or whatever, like just that and then variations off of it. And then they even did like a Metallica bastard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had that. They sold that when I saw them.
It was like the black something or whatever, and it was it was
Enter Night.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And fucking they started doing that, and then I somehow, because this says Stone on the side of the can, so it looks like Stone is brewing it again. That was cool, man. I'm really happy to see that beer around. And if you're watching the Stone Brewing, bring back the Double Bastard, because it's a double IPA version of the Bastard, and it's like 11%, I think, or 10%. Ooh. It's so fucking good, though. It's like all you need is one bomber. They don't even sell those anymore. Like rarely you see those. The big bottles, I think they got too expensive for some breweries to produce. But yeah, I used to be deep into craft beer. And then also Sticky Zipper. That's my favorite beer of all time. They discontinued it in 2014. And that was the best fucking beer ever, bro. But people talk Pliny the Elder. No, fuck that. A Sticky Zipper, bro. It tastes like almost like it tastes like Pliny the Elder, or like a very hoppy, strong beer, but has like lemony, like orangey, like a kick. Like it's like a sour hoppy kick. But it's not a sour. It's just hops. It's fucking delicious. Anyways, back on the fucking subject of what we're talking about. What we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about death metal. So I am going to be putting a link in the Spotify description. I will also be putting a link in the YouTube description on this video if you're watching on YouTube for the Dirty Death playlist. Now, this is a playlist that is curated by Dirt Riffs and I. We always talk about bands on here that you can't fucking find, or like bands that you may have never heard of. And I wanted to make it very easy to access. You just open up the fucking playlist, and then you can listen to some of the shit that we're talking about, or the stuff that really sticks out. I've already added one album to the playlist. We can add full albums, we can add singles if they really stick out, just in whatever form we're talking about. But me and Dirt Riffs are going to be curating this playlist, and if you guys want to give it a listen, check out our fucking playlist, and you can listen to the shit we're talking about. If it's on Bandcamp, I'll still be putting the band's Bandcamps in there if it's not on Spotify. But I was like, why the fuck are we not using this tool? So we have the Dirty Death playlist.
The thing I like about because I'm a huge advocate for paying for music, and I mean paying for music as in like buying physical like media, records, tapes, CDs, whatever your thing is. I'm all about buying them, but I like the streaming app because I know what I really want to pay for and have in my collection, because I can go check it out beforehand instead of like just buying. I mean, I'll buy wild cards all the time, just like see something like I think I'm going to like that and I'll just buy it. But it's nice to be able to go onto an app and listen to something beforehand and then buy it after.
Yeah, dude, like that's the case with the first band that I put on there. So I put the full album from Phobophilic, their 2022 release. It was on a couple of your guys' top 10s, or a couple of the guys'. I don't know if it was on yours. Was it on yours?
No, I didn't get a lot of time with it. I know it's really good. I've listened to it a few times through. I don't feel like I got enough time with it to like straight up say like, yes, this is one of my favorites.
I hadn't even fucking heard it, bro. I thought so. I got a
It's great.
Yeah, I got it. I heard it last night. Yeah, I heard it last night, and that's what made me go, "What the fuck?" Like, so what happened was, I guess this is crossing over with one of the other topics, but I saw Phobophilic was on that Black Dahlia tour that got announced.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I have one of their CDs, so I'm looking through my collection. And I grabbed what I thought was my Phobophilic CD, because, I really can't tell the fucking, what the band names are sometimes just by looking at the front. And I was like, oh yeah, I seen that album, I have that. And I grab it, and it's a fucking Mortuous CD that was given to me. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't Phobophilic. This is Mortuous. I totally thought I had the Phobophilic CD. So I'm like, fuck, well, I want to listen to this thing and I have to get a physical copy of it. So I listened to it, and it's really fucking badass, man. It was just really, really good. Creative riffs that they did. They did a lot of fucking avant-garde type shit, but also it's death metal. It's like the way you talk about Flesh Rot. Like, it's death metal, you know? Maybe even a little proggy. Like, that had a little prog influence with some of the guitar riffs. And that...
I could kind of see that.
Yeah, that made me... That made me really excited about being able to see them live. So that's why I added it to the playlist, Phobophilic. If you haven't heard that fucking album, go give it a listen after this show. Those guys are fucking sick. The musicianship is there. The mixing is there. It's almost on par with like 200 Stab Wounds type mixing, because like I like that Undeath 200 Stab Wounds consistent type mixing. It doesn't sound like someone recorded it like, you know, on a computer or on a laptop or something. It sounds like they did it in a studio, which I commend bands for, you know, crafting shit that sounds like that. They could have done it on a fucking laptop for all I know, and I find bands that do shit on laptops or whatever, and their shit comes out fine. But yeah, that Phobophilic's really badass, and I was surprised I didn't have it. So I went to go buy a copy of on cassette. I'm like, well, it's got to be on cassette somewhere. Fucking sold out, bro. Fucking sold out. The first pressing.
Everybody loved it.
You don't have a physical copy of it?
No.
Yeah, second pressing. Sold out. And it says in stock on Google search. $7 in stock. And I'm like, cool. And I click on it. Fucking sold out. CD in stock on Prosthetic Records for $12. And then the vinyl. And I'm like, well, this is one I'm gonna get on vinyl because I really fucking like it, and I wanna play it on the record.
Honestly,
player.
I agree. Yeah, that's a big album. Like, there's a lot in that, and if you're gonna listen to it, and you have the opportunity to listen to it on vinyl, you might as well get the vinyl copy. If I was gonna buy it, that's what I would buy.
The variant I wanted is fucking sold out though. The variant I wanted is like black on the outside, and then the center is red. Like, just like it looks like it got hit with red just in the center of it, not splatter or anything. It's like, bro.
I have one like that. It's like a black record, and then the middle of it is like a small splatter outward of clear red.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to know which one it is?
Wait. Is it a Cannibal Corpse record?
No, it's your favorite record.
Oh, it's fucking Blood Incantation.
Boom.
Yeah. Well, you really bought that on record, bro? Come on.
Yeah, I did.
Did
I
you
knew
listen
it was gonna
to it
sell
first?
out, and I have all their other stuff.
Yeah, but come on. What do? You take a bunch of mushrooms and fucking
Honestly,
turn on the fucking you take a bunch of mushrooms and you turn on the fucking what's it called? The indoor what's that shit called? Where you look at the stars and shit, but you're not really
like
looking
one
at
of
the
these
stars. Yeah. One of those. You turn that thing. What's that shit called? It's a fucking.
It's like a light that I got at a Halloween store. It's like an effects light.
But what is the thing called when you're looking at the stars? Why does the word escape me?
Because we're uneducated.
Because
I don't know what word.
Observatory, right? No, that's when you're actually
planetarium.
Planetarium, yeah. You put on the planetarium lights and you take some mushrooms and you listen to fucking.
Yeah, like that Metallica song. Planetarium.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with who the fuck? How is that badass in any way? A planetarium.
Honestly, honestly, I bought that record and I have listened to it a lot more times than I thought I would since it came out.
Yeah, but you're Dirt Riffs. You listen to everything.
Truth.
You're like, you know what? I'll give this album a chance. I'll give Metallica a chance because they've made me happy in the past.
They have. That is not a lie. I can't even front.
You're like, I love these guys so much. Maybe if I listen to it the 20th time, it's gonna be fucking good this time.
Hell yeah.
But you know, so yeah, dude. Everybody
that
check
tour,
out.
Though.
Yeah, that tour. Yeah, we'll get into the tour, man. So Mayvizzle is once again, and it's funny, I have not gone to a show since the last time the Black Dahlia murder came. Dude, I had a fucking baby. Like, that's an excuse. That is a solid excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm like,
right.
But
I
yeah,
just don't know what I would do. I haven't gone to a show since November, and I feel like I've lost my mind about it.
yeah, I fucking have not gone to a show in so fucking long. I went to that show last year. I think it was May, same time of the year. They went to Berkeley and UC Theater, and I hated the fucking acoustics of the building. Like the building is just it's not small, but it's like the way that it's shaped. Everything just sounds like fucking noise, and all you can do is feel the bass. I feel like they would be the best at an outdoor venue, and it's funny because everybody told me Black Dahlia sounds better live than they sound fucking on record, and I'm like, really? Like, because they sound really fucking good. And yeah, I went there, and I had the earplugs. I had the cheapo sleeper ones, the ones you got to scrunch up and stick in your ear because I don't want to go fucking deaf. And it was funny because it was insanely loud when I pulled up. Like Undeath was playing, and I was like, man, this is fucking loud. And I went in there and I put my shit in, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I know the songs, and it's pretty good. And then when Black Dahlia Murder starts playing, Brandon Ellis is fucking soloing, and I couldn't hear anything. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go, raw dog it. And I ripped out my earplugs, and I'm like, I just got to listen. And it was so loud. There was so much noise. And I don't know if it's my hearing that's affected, because I told you I got tinnitus a little bit.
Yeah.
I hear ee, like right now I hear it if I pay attention to it, and just like ee, it's like always there. And fucking Brandon Ellis is shredding, and I cannot hear anything other than the fucking drums, and I hear ee, and I'm just like, fuck. Like, that's what happens when you have bad hearing, dog. Like, that's why you got to protect your fucking hearing. And the reason my hearing has gotten to that point, I feel like, is because I used to walk around with the earbuds in at max fucking volume in high school, and I'd always keep at least one in my left ear, and I'd always be walking around just like full volume because I'd try to be hearing the shit over the crowds around me and shit, like of kids and like,
Yeah.
And then when I would drive in the car with my dad would fucking blast music hella loud, and I didn't want to listen to his music. I put earbuds in and I turned my shit up all the way too.
Louder.
And then I think that's what fucking destroyed my hearing over years. But, I can still hear
You know
enough.
what's funny? What's funny is I've seen Black Dahlia Murder one time,
Yeah.
and I'd been a fan since I was like 15 years old, and I didn't see them until I was at least like, I don't know. I feel like it was when Trevor was alive. It was when they were on tour with like Black Label Society and Alien Weaponry.
In this river all shall fade to black.
I will say that was a really great show. Like all the bands were really good, but Black Dahlia Murder was what I was there for. And I don't know if it was because I stood on one side, but I had that problem too. I could only hear one guitar, but I went to the merch counter because I'd recognized the guy and I'd seen him, the same merch guy, obviously like works with somebody or whoever, but he came with another band like previously, and I recognized him. And I was talking to him, and I was like, man, that was my first time seeing them, like telling him about it. I thought it was cool. And he's like, yeah, it just would be cooler if we could hear all the guitars. And I was
Right?
like, really? And he's like, yeah, something was wrong with the sound tonight or something. And I was like, oh, well, that's a bummer because I didn't notice. But like after he told me that, I'd thought about it like, huh, it did sound kind of quiet in some parts, like, but there
Yeah.
was just so much going on, and I was so happy to actually see them, like to actually see Trevor in person, literally from like, I would say from me to you away, but obviously we're miles away from each other at the moment. But like, it was like from that
Yeah,
distance,
being
it
like
was
right
like,
in
man,
front.
like I
I
remember seeing this guy on MTV. I remember seeing this guy on fucking music videos. Like it was a really just kind of, that's what I was really focused on, was just that mostly.
Yeah, I saw them on the Up from the Sewer tour last year. That was the first time I've ever seen them live. They're my favorite band of all time, bro. And I had I have been a fan of them since high school, and every year they come. They come every year, bro. Like they just have a heavy fucking touring schedule, and
Yeah.
they every time they came, something would happen, and I would be busy, or I wouldn't be able to fucking like do it. Like there would always be something coming up. I have work. I forget what they did, the Unhollowed tour when they got Brandon Ellis, and they played Unhollowed from beginning to end for an entire tour, and that's just what they did one year. and they sold represses at the whole fucking tour. It was like 2016, 2017, and I fucking didn't go. Like I was like, oh, that's tight, you know, and I like missed my opportunity, but I finally caught them. It was the pandemic, and like I had become super obsessed with metal again, and I'm like, I have to fucking see this band this time. I told my wife, we're going. I'm buying the tickets right now. We're going. And I bought the tickets. We went, and I cried. I literally cried, like watching Trevor up there on stage doing the thing that made him happy. And you know, they played, there was a song, Everything Went Black. I learned that song during the pandemic, and it got me through like so much shit. That's when I started crying, when that song came on, because I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I literally would just like be like, fuck everything, because in California, bro, shit got shut the fuck down. Like, people weren't playing.
Oh yeah.
When the pandemic started over here, they were like, people were scared shitless. Like, you would go to the grocery store, bro, and like people would be gloved the fuck up and have masks on, and like they were all paranoid. And like they had I worked at an office that had like 500 people on the floor, and they were just like, everybody go home. We don't know what to do. Like, we can't set you up for work from home yet. Like, everybody gets 2 weeks off paid because we got to figure out what's going on with this virus. And I was like, holy, and the crazy part is I said the shit was going to happen. I think I've talked about this before on here. I said the shit was going to happen before it was going to happen, because I was like, yo, I see this shit on like these subreddits and shit of like what's going on, and I'm like, it's totally gonna come over here. And everybody's like, no, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. I'm like, Chicken Little, bro, the sky is falling. And then fucking it changed the way that we lived for a little bit, and they had to shut down places. Like they canceled like sports and shit. Like, it was weird. And I was like, fuck, everything I said that was gonna happen fucking happened. But I had thought it was going to be a lot worse. You know, I mean, it still was bad. A lot of people fucking died. But right. Like, I fucking had thought it was going to be, like, way crazy. Because I had some crazy dude.
You thought we were going to end up in some kind of, like, dystopian era or something?
Dog, I had my homie in Texas telling me that martial law is going to get us, bro. Fucking, because he's military, and he's like, it's going to happen. National Guard's already posting up and shit. They're going to fucking, you know. And I'm like, oh, my God, is he right? Is he right? And no, I was so fucking wrong to believe him. I shouldn't listen to none of that shit. But, you know, I was like super, super paranoid. And that song was the only thing. That song was the only thing that got me through it, was playing it every day and learning it. And it's such a complicated song. And I'm like, it's such a badass song. I had listened to it over and over and over again. Everything Went Black. And that song's about Scrooge McDuck.
Really?
Yeah, it's inspired by DuckTales. And it's about this fucking like black blob that just touches everything and just keeps turning everything like black and just absorbing and growing and absorbing everything. Such a cool concept for a song. And
that is pretty wild.
Yeah, man, like I was just like so obsessed. And then when I heard them play it live, fucking tear came out of my eye. And then fucking Trevor goes, I want you to show me your or no, I think it was Brandon who said it. Or no, Brian was like, I want you to show me your fucking muscles. And then everybody starts going like this. And I was like, oh shit, Statutory Ape's right about to start, right? And then the fucking ape comes running across the stage. And I was like, they brought back the fucking ape. Like, it's been so long since they've done the ape. Like, they did every hit, bro, off of every album. Like, just... It was like an hour set list. There was another band that was going to play, and one of the guys got COVID in the band. So they fucking like got pulled off the set. So I had to listen to an extra hour of fucking some deathcore shit. Oh God. I can't remember what the band was called. What's that like super huge deathcore band?
Carnifex?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Carnifex was on that tour.
Bum 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 bum.
There was a point in time where I listened to them, but nowadays I don't follow that shit.
It wasn't bad. It was just, imagine a double Carnifex set.
Yeah.
Like, bro, how many variations of bum 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 bum, you know, can you hear? Like Black Dahlia did an hour and a half, and every song sounds fucking different. You know, like some of them may have the same tempo or like tuning, but it's like No, like, well, they all have C tuning, C standard, but like, yeah, no, I had to listen to a double Carnifex set, and my wife, the funniest part, it wasn't that funny. It's kind of fucked up, but during the Carnifex set, she kept fucking with her earplug, and we only had one set of earplugs, and her earplug fell on the ground, bro. And this was like literally like post COVID, and I was like, yo, don't put that shit back up in your
Yeah,
ear.
no.
There are
Throw that
nasty
in the trash.
motherfuckers walking around. Yeah, I'm like, you don't want to
Yeah,
stick that
throw
in
that in
your
the
ear.
trash.
And so she fucking threw it away, and then she's stuck there listening to Carnifex with one finger in her ear because she's like, I don't even want to hear this band. She's like, this sucks. Like, and I was like, I was
Jeez.
rolling. But then she took hella. I was like so emotional. She took all the pictures during Black Dahlia because I like didn't even think to take my phone out. I was just like, holy fuck, it's really happening right
That's
now.
good though. That's a
And
good thing.
yeah, man, I'll never
Like
forget it.
I will tell you this, at some point when you go to shows, definitely do take some pictures because I I definitely think if you don't take pictures, you obviously had a really great fucking time.
But you don't want to take pictures too at a Bloodspawn concert. I mean, no, not Bloodspawn, Blood Incantation.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
because they're gonna fucking point their finger at you and tell you suck.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, fuck Blood Incantation for that. That's shady as fuck. Sorry, hot take. No, that's not even a hot take. That's just fuck Blood Incantation. But what was I saying? Yeah, no, so it was cool, man. And then I saw In Death with them, and then Rivers of Nile, which I had never listened to because I don't like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was like I was like fucking elbow deep up in some fucking hot chicken at that point. Like I was stuffing my gullet with fucking hot chicken because they had it at the menu, and I'm just like drinking beers and like eating hot chicken while Rivers of Nile is playing. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, nom, 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 nom. Like, when's Black Dahlia gonna come on? Like, I saw Undeath already, and I was like, that's awesome. I want to see Undeath.
Yeah.
I'm wearing an Undeath shirt too. I was like, I'm wearing an Undeath shirt because they're the openers. Like, I'm gonna wear that shit, the opener shirt. And yeah, I'm stuffing my gullet doing this, and then all of a sudden during Rivers of Nile, I hear like fucking. I'm like, is that a fucking saxophone? And my wife looks up at me and she's like, is that a saxophone? And I'm like, is it? And I stand up and I'm like, they got a motherfucker with a saxophone? And there was no saxophone. They had a backing track. And I was just like, yeah. And I sat back down and just kept eating my chicken. Like,
That looked like a good tour though.
oh, it was, dude, it was cool, man. The fucking pit just was constantly going. Like, it's a lot of these pit guys need to start doing like boxing or fucking MMA, because if you can go nonstop for like 3 or 4 fucking hours just running in a circle like that, that's insane
Yeah.
conditioning.
But also, look at those dudes. Like a lot of them are probably like 21, between like 21 and like 17.
It's a bunch of youngsters. It's funny. So I was thinking about that because I invited my nephew, and he's like, I think he's just turning 13, and I invited my niece, and she's like 18, right? And I don't know if she's ever been to a death metal concert, and I know the younger one has not been to a death metal concert at all. I'm like, how do I prepare them for this show? You know, like, do I say like stay the fuck away from the pit, or do I say just, you know, I probably should say stay away from the pit. Just because the way that the venue works is right when you walk in, there's seated section. As an old cat, that's what I do. I talked about how I do it. I get my seated section, I get my drink, I get my chicken or whatever the fuck, and then I just sit there and watch and eat and drink and like go, oh yes, excellent. I'm like John Wilkes fucking Booth and shit, you know, just like sitting up in the upper area, and then I'm watching all the other people like, oh, look at these knaves down there, you know, and then they're all running around. And bro, is there a ghost? Your door just opened behind you.
Oh, that's my dog.
Oh my god, I was like,
You
late night
scared me, bro.
late night on the crypt.
There we go. That's funny.
fucking, we just live on the Dirty Death. If you're watching on YouTube, you just
Your
saw a
face. I
fucking
was like,
ghost.
I did a double take and looked at it. I was like, wait a second.
It scared the shit out
I
of
looked
me.
at the camera and the door was open. I was like, is there someone there? And there's nothing, no one there.
But yeah, what do I tell these kids? Do I go? I'm like, hey,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna.
if you got like seats and shit, then you're gonna be fine, man.
Yeah, we're
But
gonna get
like the
a.
way I see it is like the first time I went to a show, I was like 16,
Yeah,
and I don't know, I wasn't afraid to get close to the pit. It's like you just got to know if you get close to it. Sometimes people aren't always paying attention. It's not like people are always out there like I mean, I'm sure there's people out there in the world that intentionally try and like go
crowd kill.
crazy.
Like
Yeah,
there are
crowd kill
crowd killing.
hard.
Yeah, people do that
Yeah.
shit.
But like I mean, I feel like the crowd killing the only time I don't care if there's crowd killing is if it's a bunch of people that know each other and they're doing it to with their homies.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Don't be going up to no strangers and crowd killing strangers.
yeah.
That's fucked up.
Nah, dude. I am. I might be going to a fucking Limbless show. Yeah,
Are you gonna go see him on that 2 day thing?
yeah. So I told you I might be out. There's like a very small chance I'll be out there, and if the scheduling works out right, like I might fucking be there for a Limbless show. If it doesn't, I'm gonna at least try to link up with them if they're in the city at that time. But yeah, I'm like, if I go there, how the fuck do dude? I'm Mr. Anxiety ridden. I turn fucking red flush hot whenever I'm like in a unfamiliar situation and shit. So I'm like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird, like going to a fucking different state to go meet up with some people that I've met on the fucking internet. Like, I'm excited about it, and I might meet up with Bryce too while I'm out there, which is
Really?
it'll feel really comforting meeting Bryce because Bryce
Oh,
is like,
dude.
yeah, that's my brother right
Yeah.
there. I love
Yeah,
him,
that's
man.
the fam.
Yeah, so
I
fucking
know the feeling though. I know the exact feeling because like I feel like we've talked about it before. When I was at Wrecking Ball, it was like it's not like when you're like not even in a state you live in, you're
yeah,
miles and miles away from your home. You can't just be like, all right, well, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go home real quick and I'll see you tomorrow.
yeah,
Like it's not like you can just do that. Which like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I met up all the people I met up with were from the internet. Like I've
yeah.
told you that before. Like I'm going actually on the note of going to out of state shows next month. I'm going to I think I told you about it, the St. Wissahickon homecoming show for the album release.
Ohio. Yeah.
Columbus,
Who
Ohio,
are you
bro.
staying with
Internal
out there?
bleeding. Um I got some homies I'm gonna crash with.
Are you staying with Scab Hag?
No, but I'm supposed to be hanging out with Mike D though. I'm very, very excited about that. I've been talking with that fool for quite some time. Like the better part of almost like I feel like it's been at least 2 years now that I've been talking to that fool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited to go to that show because I know one thing's for sure, it's gonna be wild.
Oh yeah, dude. It's gonna be fucking nuts, man. Like that. Ohio, Sigwy Sugabog, you're gonna
And
go in the pit. You can hold your own in the pit though. You're just gonna
oh,
be beat up.
I want to get in the pit. Tomb Sentinel, Volcano,
Yeah.
Internal Bleeding, Vomit Forth.
Volcano's gonna be fun. I've seen them live, and I gotta tell you, I am not 100% on Volcano live after seeing their
Like
live
on a video?
performance. Yeah. I think Hate
Oh,
Five
okay,
Six
yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
them.
Yeah, I mean I've seen videos of them live.
They're
I
not as
really like
heavy.
that EP. I
Yeah.
really liked the EP last year. The riffs are fucking slamming. The drums are
Oh
just
yeah.
like the drums I feel like with that project are not what you would expect with a project like that. They
They're
almost
not.
feel like I almost feel like and I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I feel like when you listen to some drummers, you can tell they have a lot of hip hop based drumming style.
Oh yeah, dude. I
That
think
makes sense.
that's what made it so appealing to me, like the style that they're doing. And like I'm not knocking them at all. I'm just saying that like Volcano on the CD is heavier than it is live. Like, and if I can challenge you, Volcano, I challenge you to make your live
Man,
set more extreme than the CD. And if you
dang,
can
he
do
calling
that,
out Volcano,
I'm not
bro.
calling them
Volcano
out.
goes
I'm not
hard.
saying I could do it. I'm saying live. Come with that
Okay,
crazy
yeah, yeah,
energy. Yeah.
yeah. Tomb Sentinel's playing that one too. I'm very excited. I've been in correspondence with the guitarist Chris for a minute now. He's a really cool dude. I'm really excited to get to hang out with those guys. I've had him on one of my live streams before. They were really cool guys. So it's gonna be cool to get to see them and actually go to like a show.
Yeah. Be like, yo, what up, guys?
Yeah,
Is it cool
that's
if I
that's
is it cool if I stand next to the drums?
right.
Can I touch your guitar?
Bro, honestly, I don't know, part of me wants to stage dive. I've never stage
Oh,
dove
don't do
before,
it.
but
No one's gonna
I'm too
catch
big for
you.
that. I'm
Yeah,
too big for that.
you're gonna fucking
That's why
fall
I never
flat.
do it.
Did I tell you about the time that I stage dived? Stage dove?
No,
I talked
actually.
about it one time at I think on an episode of Death Matches. So I'm at this fucking concert with my boys, and we were doing a show with like 3 other big names. I don't want to say too much information about this concert because I don't know. I don't think anybody got fucked up because there was no ambulance or nothing. But check this out. This is why you shouldn't stage dive. I weighed about $140, bro, $135.
Right.
I wasn't that heavy, and I went up on stage while my homie, like, this one part of this song fucking started that was really sick. It was Esquire Ali show. Esquire Ali was playing with
Fuck
the
yeah,
homies.
shouts out.
So I jump up on the stage. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, it was lit. And then I fucking tried to stage dive. Nobody caught me. Like, I tried to go like vertical, right? Like I tried to go horizontal with my body, but I realized the crowd was just moving like this. So I was like, fuck. So I had to like recorrect myself in the air to land on my feet, and I ended up drop kicking this fucking, by doing that, I drop kicked the smallest girl in the venue, bro. Like, I
For
just
shame.
I just remember
For
just
shame,
bah!
bro.
I hit her
For
so
shame.
hard. I hit her. I had to be going like maybe like 15 miles an hour, dog, off this
Oh,
stage.
oh
and
my god.
and I drop kicked this chick, and
Bro, yeah.
I land. No, it was not good. I land on my ass, and then like everyone's around me, and I'm like, I'm about to catch fists right now. Like, the people she's with are gonna beat the shit out of me. And I slip away. Like, I just like literally start moving as fast as I can, and like hella low, and I'm like bah, 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 like through the crowd of people, and I stand up like behind everybody, and
While sneaking away like Randall from Monsters Inc.
yeah, like I got away. And then I like look around, and I'm like, oh, I'm cool. Like, I guess I'm cool. I made it. And I was like, I got lucky as fuck. And the next thing you know, this big ass, like, the dude literally looked like Big Black, like security guard, grabs me, and this motherfucker gives me the hug, like the big security guard hug, and he dragged me out of the place, like dragged me out, and he was like, you know why I'm taking you out, right? I'm like, yes, I totally understand. I'm like, sorry, it was my friends up there. I don't give a fuck if it's your friends. You don't fucking do that. Like, he's trying to be all sick with me and shit. I'm like, man, fuck this guy. Like, I'm not even being a dick to him, I'm being like, hey, yo,
you did it on purpose.
you gonna kick me out? That's cool. Like, you want to have fun throwing out a little fucking kid? Like, sure, dude, whatever. So he fucking kicks me out, and my girlfriend, my wife now, she was there. It was like one of the first times I took her out to, like, oh yeah, this is what my friends do. Me and my friends, we do shows and shit. Like, let's go see my friends. She fucking comes walking out, and she's like, they kicked you out? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. And then we just sat there and like smoked weed on the side of the venue until the show ended, until my other homies came out. And yeah, it was pretty funny, man. Like, but that poor lady, and I will never, ever, ever stage dive again. One, because I'll fucking hurt somebody. And like, you got to think about that when you're stage diving, especially listeners.
You just do a cartwheel off the stage, bro.
Yeah, and then you fucking limbs going all over.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm too old and like fat for all that shit. I just want to have fun.
Do a cartwheel right now.
Have fun.
Do a cartwheel right there.
Ultimately, I just want to have. It's so much easier when you're landing on 10 people, though.
That's so fucked up.
Which is crowd killing.
Yeah, I know. So, but so yeah, I'm pumped to go see them. The other band. So there's another band that's on that tour, Terror, and
yeah.
I have never heard of Terror. Apparently, they're this hardcore band that's been around. I'm not a hardcore guy.
Forever.
Yeah,
Terror's been around forever.
and they seem pretty cool. They seem
Yeah.
I definitely a 100% better lineup minus Undeath, because Undeath was great. There was nothing wrong about that in the lineup. But this is a 100% better lineup than Rivers
Oh,
of
dude.
Nile and
Yeah.
Carnifex and
Yeah.
I forgot what the fucking other
Um.
band was that was on that last tour.
Yeah. No, this is a really good lineup. These are all like I wanna use the term like almost like legendary. I mean, they're like those three openers, like Terror and Black Dahlia. They're goated. They're like already like we already know who they are. They're already
Well,
legends.
not
But
only
like these
that.
bottom three are like already like with their releases that they've done. Fuming Mouth,
Yeah, yeah.
Phobophilic, Frozen Soul, all really great modern metal
I
bands.
just heard of them for the first time last night, Fuming Mouth, and I listened to them and I was like, "Oh shit." And
They're underground legends, all three of them. All
I
three
heard the
bands are just like
story.
huge.
The dude had blood cancer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, in like 2020, and then beat that shit in 2021.
yeah.
Now he's like, I'm fucking
That's what I'm
touring
saying.
again.
These bands, all three of them, they're fucking.
Yeah,
Especially
Frozen
that
Soul.
fact, like these are opportunity. Like if you have a chance to go see that show, that is a perfect opportunity to catch some really good modern, just fucking extreme metal. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Whether it be like Phobophilic is like a death metal band, Fuming Mouth has like a lot of hardcore aspects to it, kind of. But it's also like very death metal too.
yeah. They
Um,
definitely have like death metal. Like that's the foundation. And then Frozen Soul, who I've
Frozen Soul,
never
of
seen.
course.
I messaged
Ooh,
Chad the other day, and I
did
was
you?
like, "Yeah, I'm putting the DMs on blast, baby, because I have in the past." But yeah, I was like, "Yo, Chad," I said, "I am the friend of Dirt Riffs. I know you know him. I know you know who he is." I said, "I am going to see you at at the Black Dahlia murder concert, and I expect my passes for Wrecking Ball 2023
Shut the
in
fuck up.
hand." Because I
Shut
am
the
Dirt
fuck
Riff's
up.
friend, and
Oh my
he
god,
told
don't
me
do
that I
that.
can tell you,
Don't do that.
he didn't tell me to ask you, he told me to tell you that you're gonna hook us up with Wrecking Ball passes, backstage passes for free, and you're
Oh
gonna
my god.
and I said and you better make it snow at this show because I want the full
Get out of here.
experience. No, I didn't say that to Chad.
Get
I
out of
said to
here.
Chad, I said,
I
yo,
love you, Chad. You're the best.
I
I
love
don't think
Chad
you'd
too.
watch
No,
this. I don't know if you'd listen to this, but if you ever by chance did, I love you, bro. You're
I'm
the
just
coolest.
kidding, Chad. I'm
I
joking, man.
know.
Fuck.
He's
He's gonna be
kidding.
like, fuck this Mayvizzle guy. What the fuck is wrong with this weirdo? Fucking but no, I messaged him and I was like, yo, Chad, I was like, I'm gonna tap in with you when you get out here. I said, first time seeing you guys, super stoked about it. And then I said, and Dirt Riffs is my friend and you know him, and so that's, I'm cool, like, and I expect a hug and a kiss. I'm
Nice.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. I didn't say all
Oh.
that. I just said the first part where I'm like, I'm gonna tap in with you, and he was like, cool. So
I will say this. Every time I've seen them, I've traveled, and it's been worth it every time.
yeah,
The
you
shortest
met them, huh?
distance.
You like chilled with them and shit, and talked to them, smoked with them.
Um, I mean, I talk to Chris pretty often. He's a really cool dude. Chris is really cool. Matt and Chris is like who I hung out with the most when I've seen them.
Oh, okay.
That's who I've hung out with the most when I've seen them. The last time I saw him in Salt Lake City, I hung out with Chad,
Yeah.
Matt, and Chris.
Okay.
And I mean, all of them, they're all really cool people. Sam and Mikey, they're all cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Like Frozen Soul, you cannot go wrong. If you're
Yeah.
a fan of Bolt Thrower, if you're a fan of Obituary, Frozen Soul is
The
right up
blue
your alley.
light, they just get the blue light on, and then the snow, and bro, I'm
Dude,
so
it's
excited. I'm so
I will tell
excited.
you this. Chad is a very cool ass dude, and I hope that he sees this because I fucking love that dude. Chris, I fucking love that dude too. Matt, all of them, like I said, they're all really fucking cool. But I want to shout him out for a second because I've gone to three of their shows. Two of them, he put the mic in front of me because I knew the words,
Yeah.
and I brought it up to him the last time I saw him. I was like, dude, you handed me the mic again. Like now he's done that for like two different songs at two different shows in two different states or whatever. And that was just kind of a cool thing for me as a fan that like, dude, this fool recognized me. And then he's all, yeah, dude, I knew you from like the other times I've seen you. Like we've ran into each like we've met each other a couple times. So he recognized me. I was like, dude, it sucks because every time I see Frozen Soul, all three times I saw them, I'd remembered that I wanted to get pictures and I didn't. And
Yeah.
finally that third time I did because I had that's the point that I was going to bring up earlier is I'd had so much fun that I didn't care about the pictures. I wanted the memory in my head of and it was fun as fuck.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. Like Frozen Soul puts on a really great show and like I said, all three of those bands touring with Black Dahlia Murder and
That's
Terror.
that's
That's
why,
that is an iconic fucking
bro.
2023 is going to be fucking awesome if that's going to be what it is in the beginning.
That's
In
why
like the
I
springtime, it's going to be sick.
that's literally why I asked my cousins to come, because I was like, okay, I've
This
talked to
is a
them
big
about the
deal.
death metal. I've given them some tapes. I'm like, you got to come to this show, because there's, if you don't like this band, you're gonna like this band. If you don't like this band, you're gonna, like, it's gonna be, there's something for like everybody there in that lineup, and it's all solid. The whole lineup is solid, and it's one of those ones where I'm gonna be like, yo, we're getting there before they open, or before, the show starts. We're getting merch, we're getting seats, and we're not moving like until the shit ends. Like,
Dude, if you're going to try and get Frozen Soul merch, you got to get in line, bro. Because I fucking, when I saw him in Texas, that's how I saw Tribal Gaze for the first time was
yeah.
from the merch line.
I don't even have any Frozen Soul tapes
I
or
have quite a
anything.
bit. Yeah, I have quite a bit of
Yeah,
stuff
I
from
need to
them.
get it. I don't know why I don't have it. I listened to it. I actually got into them leading up to my son's birth, and then Mutilatred came out, and then I just like hadn't gone back to it. And I think they're on Night Shift merch, and that's why I was like, oh, I'll get around to it when I make a big order. You have
I
the
don't know if I've ever
cassette.
shown
They have a cassette.
I don't know if I've ever showed you this, but this is from the original Wrecking Ball Metal Madness stream that they did on YouTube.
Yeah, that's sick.
I took this all the way when they did this. I knew it was going to be a cool thing to have, so I just bought it. I haven't watched it. It's never been played, but I took it all the way to Texas with me
To get it signed.
and got it signed by the whole band.
Dude, that's so badass.
This was a really cool thing, like because this was during 2020. So I bought the T-shirt. I bought fucking the T-shirt, the fucking tape. Like it was a kind of a cool thing. It was like a virtual concert, basically. It was just a live airing of videos that they had made. So it was like it was Frozen Soul, Devourment, and Creeping Death.
Oh, that's so sick.
Oh man, it was so cool. Like I remember being at work and going outside and like I smoked cigarettes at the time, so I would like go outside and I was just watching the bands play and smoking cigarettes while I waited to like go back in or whatever. But it was really cool. It was a really cool thing to see this and then to get to go to Texas and actually see the first one live, that was even cooler.
Damn,
So
dude.
that was
First
definitely a
Wrecking
lot of
Ball.
fun. A lot of fun, man. I definitely want to go back to the third one that I think is going to happen this year. I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
They gotta have another one. I'm pretty
I
sure.
hope so. I hope so because I missed the second one.
I'm gonna have to fucking catch y'all at the fourth one, like, because little man's still not a year yet, and at that time he's gonna be. I think it's around the same time as his birthday. So it's like I'm going to 100%. I have to get my ass down to Texas. It's gonna be to link up with Necrovision and Crawdaddy, of course. I got to meet those guys, and then also got to meet up with Murder Bar. So,
Yep.
yeah, I fucking hate how big Texas is. Like, I like my biggest gripe is like, okay, I want to go to Texas, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I have friends in like different places in fucking Texas, like Universally Estranged, Austin, Corpse Pile, Houston, San Antonio is Slaughter Swamp, fucking Laredo, Texas. That's Necrovision and Crawdaddy. Fucking El Paso, fucking Dallas now, and then
Yeah.
fucking what's it called? And everything's like far away, like 6 hours away, like a drive. Like if I meet up with Bryce, he said it's like a 4 hour drive in like one way. And I was like, fuck. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, I'm down to do it to go kick it. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, that's a homie right there. Like,
Yeah, for
you
real.
know? And if I went to San Antonio, it would have been a lot easier to meet up with Necrovision because they're like, all right, yeah, we'll all smash out there, get a hotel, and kick it, for a minute. And
Yeah.
that'd be cool, man, to see everybody. Like, I wanna
See,
I wanna link
that's
up
what
with
it's all about,
motherfuckers.
man. That's what it's all about. Is like, to me at least, is like just that's the reason why I initially went and took that trip to Dallas, was to kind of like branch out with like my metal friends in other states and shit, and like
Yeah,
actually meet them instead of just talk to them on the internet. Like, I'm gonna get to fucking hang out with Mike D. I'm very excited about that. Like, that's been my homie for a hot minute now.
yeah, dude.
So
I fucking
it's kind of cool to like get to meet people in real life that you've been talking to for a long time. That means I have to take a trip to California at eventually at
yeah.
some point.
We should all hang out with Mike from Barbaric Brutality, and I can redeem
Yeah.
myself. I know you're listening to this, Mike, because I know you listen to this show. And once again, I am sorry for what happened at the Channel 5 shit. My bad, homie. I love you, bro, and I'm glad we got to have dinner that night, but yeah, I'm super sorry, homie. Like, I wish fucking we would have kicked it, but what happened, and then what ultimately happened with the whole Channel 5 shit, and we were talking about that the other week. Yeah, like that shit was whew. Maybe you didn't want to get that post on the story. Maybe it did work out because that shit. But anyways, yeah, man. Super pumped for the Black Dahlia. Fuck, we were on that
Yeah.
topic for a long time, but just because it's
That's
so
gonna be
awesome.
wild.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bands, it's
it
gonna
really
be a
is.
great show. I'm
Go
super
check out all
excited.
those bands. Anybody
And
listening, go check out all those bands for real.
oh yeah. And shit. So I got a package today from Life After Death. And
Oh,
I got to do a little shameless promotion here because I am promoting Life After Death. You can buy these releases from Life After Death, or and I have a very limited amount, so they're probably going to go really quick. But on the Murder City Records website, we are going to be having some distro items that should be added by the time you're listening to this podcast. I got Druid,
ooh,
Dark Druid. Or
yes.
no,
And Funeral
wrong one.
Vomit.
Yep, Funeral Vomit. So I got Dark Druid,
Oh, both
Exidio
eaters.
Mortem, and I got Funeral Vomit, and we have very limited copies.
Oh man, those are both
Yeah,
heaters.
I did a tape trade,
Fat heaters.
so you can maybe by now, I don't know when it's gonna be, but you'll be able to get some Necrovision off of Life After Death and vice versa, some Life After Death off of Murder City Records. Super stoked about that. That was my first trade that I've ever done with a label, and there are a
Hey,
couple
that's
other
cool.
labels that we're cross-pollinating with, so expect some more distro items to be popping up in just regularly as we put releases out. You can expect distro items, and yeah, that shit's pretty cool, man. Like I listened to the Funeral Vomit, and I was cracking the fuck up because I was like, yo, I'm gonna listen to this, and I listened to it, and I was like, I've listened to this whole fucking album before because it was referred to me by Vincent, that one dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
He referred it to me one night while I was playing. I was playing Call of Duty on a Twitch stream, and I was listening to death metal while I was doing it. And I was just like, "Yo, any recommendations people put in, I'll listen to it." And I listened to the whole Funeral Vomit album, and I really liked it. I love the samples that are on it. I was listening to it with my son earlier, and like the zombie samples like just come in, they're like ah, and fucking my son held jumped. He was like, the fuck? And it was just kind of funny. He wasn't scared, but he was just like startled for a second. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, fucking that badass. And then Dark Druid, fucking love those kids. They're busting ass. I had a long conversation with Eric from Life After Death the other night. I don't know if you jumped in and you saw any of that, but
I feel like I saw that you were in it. I might have been at work though.
yeah, I had a couple beers, and I was like, dude, like he was live, and I just jumped in. He was talking about 3 years coming up for the Life After Death label, and he started in
Yeah.
2020 in about March. And then right now they're doing like a sale. I think you get items, you could get a total order 30% off. Um, so fucking he he was telling me, just about the label, and he was letting me pick his brain. He was like, "Yo," he's like, "This guy's just starting his shit right here," and he's like, "And we've been doing it for a while." And like, I totally got to pick his brain for a cool minute, and I was asking him questions, and yeah, it was pretty nice, man. That Art Dev that I just bought, and it all circles back to the Art Dev. It just came today in the mail from Meteor Gem. I got the Art Dev,
Yeah.
and fucking I asked him, how did you make that happen? How do you do represses? Like that's something that always baffled me, because like you'll see some shit like Juan Quan does the shit from 1994, and he even told me, I don't know how the fuck that guy does it. He's like, the Andy's in China too. Like, how the fuck does he hunt down the people to get the rights to do this shit and then put it out? Because it's not bootleg. It's all done the right way on Juan
Yeah.
Quan, which is
Yeah.
crazy to me. Like how, but he was like, it makes sense though, because the guy's been in the game for so fucking long that like he's, he probably just knows these cats, or knows people, has done tape trades with some of them before. So
Right.
yeah, fucking, I thought that was cool. But he said, all right, Dev, he was like, dude, some dude hit me up randomly that had the rights to Art Dev, and just said, hey, do you want to put out this Art Dev Hellish? And he was like, I never even heard of the fucking band. And he was like, so I listened to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. He's like, all right, I'll put it out. I'll put a release out. And he put out the Art Dev and sold the shit out. And he has 2 copies remaining, which will be up on his site soon. But they will be
Damn.
the last 2 sealed Art Dev represses, other than the ones going for $600 on Discogs. Yeah,
Jesus.
and you'll be able to get it for regular price, like $8 or whatever, $7.
Yeah. Life After Death rules.
Yeah, no, it's not
I've gotten a
600
few
on
things from
Discogs.
them. Actually, I know Life After Death did, or yeah, Life After Death did a release of Grave Titan
Yeah.
from Boise.
Oh, really? I didn't even know
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a copy of that right here now that I think about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Life After Death is a very good label to purchase from. I definitely recommend checking them out. The reason
Bam.
the reason that I love it, I love that label so much, is because his philosophy, Eric's philosophy, is just like, he wants to he wants to be a platform for bands, very similar to like what I'm trying to do with my contribution to Murder City Records. It's like, I want to be the platform for bands, and just like spread their fucking music as much as I possibly can. And if that means trading with other labels, or like just to get it more visible for different fan bases, if we could tap into different areas and like helping them out, and then also showing love to the people that love to collect music, that like wouldn't have seen the shit and then be like, oh, like I really like this band Mavizzle showed me. That's why we do this show, and like I love it.
Yeah,
I fucking
exactly.
That's what I want to do, man. And yeah, big shout out to fucking Eric from Life After Death, bro. Thanks for
For
having me
real.
on. And yeah, the hangover was fucking rough the next day. Um, yeah. All right, speaking of the Murder City Records, so we did our first drop. We did really fucking well for the first
Yeah.
weekend. I shipped out the first batch of orders. Pre-orders will be shipping mid-March, because we're still waiting for the t-shirts to come. And when the t-shirts come, I'm going to ship the orders total together. That's because we only charge for shipping for that. And then the other thing is, with pre-orders, if you ship a partial order, there's a high chance of someone canceling. That's what other people have told me in the scene or whatever. So it's like, I don't want to pay double for shipping, and I also don't want to send something and then people be like, ah, fuck this, I don't want the shirt anyway after we order it.
Yeah.
So yeah, because then it's just like, fuck. So the t-shirts will be coming mid-March, could be coming sooner, depending on how fast the t-shirt guy is, but mid-March is the latest that we're expecting it to come. So everybody that ordered that shit, big appreciation to y'all. Last week we did a giveaway on fucking YouTube, and nobody commented fucking to win the giveaway. So there's still a chance at winning a Necrovision tape. Go to last week's episode of Dirty Death and listen to it from the beginning to the end, and you'll find out how you can win a copy. It's very easy. It's literally I just asked you
I
to type
remember
in
that
something.
now.
Yeah, and nobody
I
fucking
remember that now.
nobody fucking posted that. Well, I guess this is coming out next week, so they're not even gonna know. So this is 2 weeks ago's episode. Fucking
Dang.
yeah, this is me, Mayvizzle, talking to you from the future. And then yeah, we have some stuff planned for future drops, and I have something that I'm gonna be announcing. Maybe not soon, but I have something else cooking up. I'm really excited to talk about this kind of shit, but I gotta wait and I'm done putting the cart before the horse. You know,
I feel that.
I have
Yeah.
some additional endeavors. There's a lot more that's going to be coming out from Mayvizzle, and I think people are going to love it when it finally comes to fruition. So yeah, just expect some announcements in 2023. It's going to be a really big year
Oh yeah.
for the Mayvizzle channel and for Mayvizzle
Oh, yeah.
and for Dirty Death. And yeah, man. So shit, that covers like a good amount of what I was talking about. You said that you fucking finally watched it.
I finally saw Evil Dead. Yeah, I finally watched the original one, like the first one.
Was it everything I said it would be?
So you said it was the most serious one, and that's what I kind of went into watching it. Uh, I feel like it was not very serious.
Did you watch Evil Dead 2 or Evil Dead the
No,
original? The original
no, the girl got
1970.
raped by the tree and everything.
Okay. That's how you, yeah, that was pretty fucked up. Like,
Yeah,
come
that
on.
was pretty fucked up. I was like, dang, like where do they come up with this idea? So it just like possessed the tree now. I mean, it was cool. It was definitely cool, and I appreciated like the comedic value behind it. Like,
It wasn't comedic. There was nothing funny about the tree rape.
no, not the tree, not the
Okay,
tree.
yeah.
No, I mean like the demon screaming from the basement, random shit all the time. That's hilarious. You
That
can't tell
was
me that's not. That's hilarious.
Bro, you know what? Maybe it was because I was coming down from some fucking from some one time. You know what ruined that movie for me? What made that movie scary for me? So I'll tell you this. I've seen it a bunch of times before that and saw it young as a young kid. So I'm like, oh, this is scary. This is scary. But there was one time we went to a rave and someone who isn't me took you ever heard that term on the internet? Someone
Yeah.
who isn't me took fucking some form of, you know, MDA or MDMA or whatever. And
Right.
it was after the rave. We went home and we're watching fucking Evil Dead. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. I put the movie on. I went next door and like I'm like talking to like the neighbors, we're hanging out or whatever. And then I come back. This was when I was in Chico. So I went back to the apartment. I'm like, all right, time to go to bed. And Evil Dead was on, and my buddy was in there that took the same stuff, and he was sitting there on the fucking on the couch, like with his like blanket up to his face, and he's scared shitless. And like the lady's like banging underneath the thing. She's like, "Let me out, let me out." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And he was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? You just left me in here in the dark with this shit." I was like, "What? Turn a light on. What's your problem?" You know. So fucking, I sit down, and I get all comfy on the couch, and like dude's like, you know, trying to go to sleep over there, and then it gets really intense, and I realize like, holy shit, like this is really intense right now when you feel like absolute shit. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh god, like yeah, it was super funny. But I would never condone doing that shit to anybody, and I only did it one time to experiment with it, and I didn't enjoy it. It was like you know, I get a much better.
Someone who isn't me definitely had a lot of fun with that stuff.
Yeah, that shit is that shit's okay, but it sucks. And I guarantee they don't do it the way that they did it back then. Like they don't make it the way they did it. Like nowadays, like it's like playing fucking and now we're getting on the subject of drugs, but nowadays it's like playing fucking Russian roulette when it comes to like taking shit like that, because
Test your stuff.
you don't fucking know. No, how about you just don't do it? How about
If
you
you
just
want to do
don't
it that
do
bad, test your stuff.
I would, yeah, if you want to do it that bad, test it, but fucking just don't do it. I've
Do
lost
your
like,
research.
bro, I've lost like 6 friends to shit that someone, they were like at like just a show. Like 2 of them were just at shows, and someone was like, "Here, take this shit." You know, and they're like, "Oh, sick, right on." They think it's one thing, they take it, and then they fucking died. It happened to 2 people I knew, and then another friend that I knew was at a fucking party where a bunch of people were doing this shit, and like, you could look it up on the news, bro. Everybody in the fucking house died. Everybody in the house died.
Damn.
I think maybe a cop died too, like when they went to the scene. Yeah. Fucking weird. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
that's nuts.
they got like some crazy shit or whatever. But yeah, dude, that's why that world is terrible. And I wouldn't wish
Well, I
anybody
will
to
say
go down
this:
that.
I'm not condoning the use of drugs or anything
Yeah.
like drugs of that drugs. Not condoning that, but like, if you got to do it, if you really want to do it, definitely do your research and test your stuff.
Yep. Or just put stuff in your butt, because that gives you a
Just in the
rush.
butt,
It gives you a
in the butt,
rush.
just
You
in the
know,
butt. Put it in the
if
butt.
if that's what gives you a rush, do that. But don't, if
If it
it's too
gives you a
big,
rush,
if
you
it's
put it in
too
the butt.
big, or if it's gonna get stuck, and if it's something you wouldn't
Then
feel,
don't put it in the butt.
yeah, if it's something you wouldn't feel comfortable going to a doctor and saying, "Hey, I need you to help me get this out," don't put it in your
Well,
butt.
okay. First off, I highly doubt anyone's stuffing handfuls of drugs in their ass because
I'm
that
not
would
talking
really
about
suck.
drugs in your butt. What are you
Oh,
talking? I'm just talking about putting stuff in the butt,
okay.
like anything.
Yeah. What? Anything? Why
Yeah,
is anyone
anything in the
putting
butt
stuff in their butt, bro?
for a rush. It gives you a rush. It wakes you up in the
I
morning.
mean, I guess I don't know.
You
I
never done
wouldn't
that?
know.
You never
No.
been taking a shower in the morning, you just pop a thumb in there, you go, "Whoa." You don't even need coffee.
No.
Never done that?
No.
Okay. Well, we digress. So, Evil
Anyways,
Dead. So,
Evil
yeah,
Dead,
so you're saying
awesome movie.
it was you felt it was
I
kind of
thought it was
comedic.
great. I'd watch it again.
Okay. Okay. It
I
was
would
that
definitely
good.
watch it again, but I want to go to the second one.
Okay, so now going into the second one, what would you rate it out of us on a scale of 1 to 10 on
I
the
would
first one?
buy it.
You would, yeah, it has to. That's a classic to have in the collection.
I'd want it in my collection.
They just re-released steel box Blu-rays of it, and they go on sale, I think, for like $15 to $20 on Amazon. So keep an eye on
Dang.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's not bad.
so now you have to watch Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is a really fun one. You got to have some popcorn, or you got to have like a pizza, you know, to enjoy with this. Maybe some beers. You know, not too many beers because then you won't retain the whole movie, but like enough beers to like really get in the vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you got to watch Evil Dead 2 now, and watch it with an open mind, because like I said, Evil Dead 2 is like a remake of the first one.
Okay.
The only reason they added a 2 to the title was because the first one was way bigger of a hit than they thought it was going to be. And then they were like, well, Sam Raimi was like, I want to do this the way it needs to be, right? Like the way it should have been, because they had the budget. And the theater, or the producing company, only would give them the money if they made a sequel to The Evil Dead, instead of just making like a remake of it.
So that's the whole purpose behind the two.
Yeah, exactly. Just so they would get the funding for it. So
Okay.
really, now you're basically entering another canon. Like, it's not canon with the first one. That's why, and you'll see what I mean when I say the second one is more comedy than the first one. The first one has a much more serious, like, horror tone, even though it's got like goofy shit. Was Linda's body walking around headless in the first one, like a claymation, like walking around? Or
I don't recall that, but I do remember there was like one body that was like hacked to pieces,
mm-hmm.
and then there was one that got her head cut off, and then the other one, didn't one of them get like burned? I don't remember.
I don't remember how he did it. I remember he buries Linda and she fucking comes out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And it's like his girlfriend, and he's like, "No."
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucked
yeah.
up.
He's all
It's
freaked
so,
out.
Yeah. It's so good. I got to watch him again because they're just so
It
good.
is a good one. Yeah,
And,
it's a good one.
But you're going to love the second one because they take the camp and they go overboard with it. Like, his hand turns evil on him. So like that movie Idle Hands, and it's like trying to kill him and shit. So he has to cut off his own fucking hand, and then he's like, "What do I do with one hand?" And then he fucking puts a chainsaw where his hand was, so that way he can
That's the
chop up.
second one.
Yeah. That's where he gets the iconic chainsaw for a hand, and that's the Ash everybody loves and knows. And then the third one, Army of Darkness, it continues the story. It finally continues it. And then
Okay.
Ash versus Evil Dead, the series continues after Army of Darkness. So it's
Holy
like
shit.
that's all canon from that point on. Yeah, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and then the series. And the series is funny because he's hella older and he's washed up. He's just like, but he's still badass as fuck. He's still like the man, you know?
Yeah.
Like it starts off with him going to a bar and like he sits down and he's all old, you know. Bruce Campbell's old as fuck, and
Right.
he sits down. He has a wooden hand at this point, you know, that he puts on, and there's like a barfly sitting there, and he's like ordering 2 drinks, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Oh, today's the anniversary of the time I saved a boy's life that almost got hit by a train. Every year I come here and I have a couple drinks, one for me and one for him." And like she goes, "Oh my god," and then it just cuts to him banging this chick in the bathroom at the bar. Like, because he's just a suave ass motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
but then she turns into a deadite and he goes, "What the fuck?" Like, she turns into a demon, you know. And then he's like, "What's going on? Is the evil back?" And then you find out that he had some like chick that he met at a bar over, smoking weed with her, and he was like pulling out the Necronomicon while he's all high and shit, and he was like, "Yeah, check this out, read this part," and then it fucking reopens Evil Dead.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. So that's basically what happens like in that series.
Yeah, I need to watch the second one. That's definitely the plan next.
Yeah, you gotta get into it, man. It's like one of the best fucking franchises that I've ever seen. But the remakes, though, did you see the trailer yet for the remake that I
No,
sent
I
you?
do need to watch that.
Yeah, all right, you have before the next episode. That is your only piece of homework. I think I've said this to you exactly
I
that
know.
same
I
way.
feel like I was told to watch it twice.
Yeah, you need to. In third time, you need to watch this shit. Because I want to talk about how scary this fucking thing looks. Because they said it was scary, and I'm like, Evil Dead can't be scary. Even the last one they did.
I don't know. The first one did have a very pretty like scary undertone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. I'm like, I had never thought it could get more scary than that. And looking at this trailer, I felt like creeped the fuck out, and I don't feel that anymore from horror movies. Every
Yeah.
Halloween now I watch horror movies from the 1st to the 31st. I do the thing Schuler Benson does, where you watch a different movie every night, you know. And I get on Shudder and I watch obscure 80s shit. I watch the classics, Friday the 13th, you know. And yeah, I was really really impressed, man, with this trailer, because it looks fucking horrifying. Gore doesn't scare me like that, you know, in movies.
Yeah.
Like Cabin Fever was pretty fucked up, I would say. Green Inferno, pretty fucked up. But
Yeah.
yeah, that one was pretty fucked up. And then yeah, speaking of horror type shit, I don't know if like the people that listen to this shit play video games, but I want to talk about something. I want to talk about a video game. And I'm calling you
Okay.
out, Dylan. Cool Shirts 42069. He posted Dylan posted the week this game came out, the Callisto Protocol. I don't know if you ever heard of this game. You heard of Callisto Protocol?
I feel like I have, yeah.
So it is a third-person survival horror game that takes place in space, and it's on like current consoles and PS5 and Xbox. I got it on PS5. So this game follows the story of a dude that's like just doing deliveries in the future, like, you know, in a spaceship, and he goes from place to place, and fucking this terrorist organization lands on his ship, and then they fucking attack him, and he tries to like empty out the hole and then crashes his fucking ship on this planet that he's delivering to, which is a prison planet. And the fucking security guard comes up to him and he's like, what the fuck's going on? And they see that the ship from the terrorist organization is there. And he's like, hey man, I'm just here doing another delivery or whatever. These motherfuckers tried to hijack my ship. So they arrest the chick that hijacked his ship, and his co-pilot dies very brutally, right? And then
Yeah.
fucking he's like, look, can you just give me a ride so I could get off this plane and get my shit fixed? And the guard's like, yeah, at first. And then the guard hears something on the thing and he goes, you're coming with me too. And then he gets thrown into this fucking prison, and like they just put him in there, and he's like, what the fuck? They stick this chip in his neck, they fuck him up, and then fucking he wakes up in his cell, and there's like a fucking outbreak of this like shit that is like turning the prisoners into monsters. And like his cell just opens up and it's like emergency protocol, everybody has to, you know, go to the emergency route or whatever. And that's where the journey starts. And like his mission is like to get the fuck off of this planet, right? And it's a very linear horror game. It's kind of like Resident Evil 4 type horror, you know, where you're just kind of like over the shoulder, you get guns, the combat's fun. It was good. It does a lot of different shit. But Dylan posted, don't buy this piece of shit. It is not worth like $80. He was like, I can't remember exactly what Dylan said, but Dylan was like, this is not worth, I think it was $70. He's like, it's not worth the full amount. You know, don't buy this game. Like it's a mess or whatever. And I played through it. I played through the whole thing over a weekend. I paid full price for it. And I thought it was awesome, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun horror game. It wasn't like those video games that you buy now, like Assassin's Creed or whatever the fuck, or like Zelda. Like you buy it and then like you're never gonna beat it because there's just a million side missions and it takes like 100 hours to beat the main quest, and like
Yeah.
you have to level your shit up or like do all this bullshit. Like it's literally, I do this, I do this, I do this. Like the pacing's good, the graphics are great, like everything's super fucking cool looking, and the environment's really cool. The writing wasn't fantastic. It wasn't like The Last of Us, like as a great story or anything, but it was a really fucking fun game. It wasn't like the greatest game, but it was a good game, you know, and it
Yeah.
reminded me of something that I would have bought on like PS2, like as a kid,
Okay.
like something I rented from Blockbuster and like
Yeah.
beat over a weekend, you know, like, oh, this was a good
Right.
fucking game. And they don't make games like that anymore. Every game now is trying to be like fucking Fortnite or trying to be like this crazy. If it is a game that is like you know, a story driven game, it's usually some like that has those kinds of graphics and like money behind it. It's like
Yeah.
God of War, you know, or it has to be
Right.
something huge like Assassin's Creed, or it's something
Yeah.
rehashed, you know, where they rehash it over and over because it's safe. Like Call of Duty, it's the same game every fucking year. They just tweak it a
Exactly.
bit. So like it was cool to see something new being tried by developers, and that's why I justify spending full price on it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't play a lot of video games. I always say it's unfair to say that I play video games because I always just play Fallout.
Yep.
But I mean, I play such a small amount of video games. My like subscription for PlayStation Live ran out, and I just didn't even renew it yet. It's like,
Oh man, how are you gonna play I don't know, I was trying to think of a PlayStation game. How are you gonna play Call of Duty, like you just said?
I
Yeah.
mean, I think the last Call of Duty I have on that console is World War II.
Oh
That's how
man,
long.
wait, Call
Like
of
I
Duty.
think,
Oh yeah, that one came out a couple years back.
yeah.
That was a
And
fun
then
game.
I think the most recent one I have is like Cold War.
Cold War. No, I think
Yeah.
World War II is the most recent one.
No, World
Oh
War
no,
II
no,
came out a
Black
while
Ops
ago.
Cold War. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. That was
Yeah.
my last one. I actually just bought the new one, but yeah, I skipped the one in between. I Call of Duty's fun. You buy it and it gives you a weekend of some cheap fun multiplayer, you know. It's like junk
Yeah.
food, you know. You buy it
Yeah.
and you're like, "Ah, it's the same shit." Kill a bunch of people online playing video game and then you're like, "All right, I throw this game away. Like, I don't give a fuck about it anymore."
I will say this, Nuketown is the shit.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Oh yeah, Nuketown's
Nuketown is
always fun.
cool, and if you know what to do with a sticky grenade in Nuketown, you got it made, bro.
Yeah, that shit is sick. I like the zombies in Call of Duty. I wish they would do that more, but I feel like they really shit the bed with it after Black Ops 4. Like Black Ops 4 had good zombies, Black Ops
It
3
did.
had the best zombies, Black Ops 1 and 2, they were all good. And then
Yeah.
fucking Cold War like kind of fucked up zombies like with loadouts and all this stupid shit. Like
Yeah.
I just
It
want to
was
play.
different. I liked World War II zombies.
Yeah. Well,
That was good.
you know that the zombies has a story for it in every single one, and
Yeah.
like you can complete the story by doing the Easter egg, right? You know
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah,
Isn't
we always do that. Like every time I would play that game, like me and like homies or like my wife or whatever, if we play that, like that's what I'm always trying to do is the Easter eggs. Because it got to a certain point where you had to do the Easter eggs.
yeah,
Because the enemies were just the zombies were too strong and you have to do the Easter eggs or
get
else you're not going to be able to take them down.
yeah, you get the secret gun or you go towards the
Exactly.
ending or like yeah, like I really loved the way that they did that.
Yeah.
And it was fucking great, man. I had a great experience playing those games. If you never played Call of Duty Zombies or if you wrote Call of Duty off, anybody listening to this definitely recommend giving it a chance and then looking up that shit. That shit's super fun. Great fun multiplayer. Very hard, very difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to talk about that. And then one other thing I wanted to ask you: are you going to be buying this in the video game realm still? You gonna be buying that new Harry Potter video game that's coming out fucking next month? Like you finally get to be a wizard,
Is it like an RPG? Because I haven't even seen anything about it. But
bro.
I will tell you this, like I was a nerd when I was a kid. I mean, I'm still a nerd now, but like I was a nerd for everything like that when I was a kid.
So I'll put it like this: they've been working on it for a long time. The game takes place in the early days of Hogwarts, like in the 1800s,
Oh shit.
and you could create yourself. You create a character, and you get sorted into the house. The sorting hat will sort you into a house. And you are a Hogwarts fucking student, and they recreated everything. Hogsmeade, all that shit is there. Everything is there. It's an open world game with the campaign, and there's like a dark evil that's rising, and you have to like, yeah,
So we're talking like Grand Theft Auto kind of style shit.
yeah. We're talking open world Harry Potter game. You're a student at Hogwarts.
That's actually pretty wild.
You go to class. You could go to class and like level your shit up. It's a action RPG,
Is
open
there a
world.
release date for that?
February 10th. It was supposed to come out
Dang.
yesterday, or actually no, it's supposed to come out tomorrow, I believe, and they pushed it back like 1 month. And it's on current consoles. I think it's releasing on PS5 on the 10th and Xbox Series X on the 10th, and then they said the PS4 version has been delayed a bit because they're still trying to make it work like without glitching and shit.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
what's it called is coming out. The Nintendo Switch. They're getting it to run on Switch somehow.
Is it going to be on Xbox like all across, like all consoles?
Yeah, yeah. It'll be on
Okay,
every
because I have
Xbox.
that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to get it, man. You got to fucking check it out.
Because I
Like
kind of want to play that.
it's
I won't wait for the PS4 one. I'll play it on the Xbox.
yeah. I'm about to get
Because
that
that's kind of
shit.
interesting. I'll definitely give that a try.
I know my wife's gonna be stuck on it because like she loves the Harry Potter, you know, and everybody anybody that's about to like give me shit for liking Harry Potter, um, you know, I grew up with Harry Potter. I actually when I was in third grade, they said I could read good. No, I think it was second grade. Yeah, it was second grade.
I could read good.
I could read good when I was in second grade, and the teacher said, "Hey, I'm gonna pull you." Like all the other kids were reading like The Brown Duck or like some random shit, and the teacher was like, "Hey, so there's this book that's really popular right now, this book series, and I think you would like it. So I'm gonna get you and like the three other smartest kids in the class, and you guys are gonna read this book." And it was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's
They
Stone.
used that word.
Yeah,
They used that word. That word
the smartest
specifically.
kids in the class. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, I was like, cool. I'm like, I'm part of the fucking like the we're gonna become like
The
villains.
smartest kid club.
The smartest kids in the class. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have like a Legion of Doom in the third grade
Yeah,
class.
I felt like Malcolm in the Middle because he was like in the smart kid fucking class. Remember the Krellborns? What is that what they're called?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Krellboins.
yeah, the Krellborns. And yeah, dude. So I read it though at that young age, and I latched onto it. I read all those books, and it's a great world. The mind behind it, maybe a shitty person, um, but I mean, dude, come on. I mean,
I
it's a
mean, yeah,
fucking
when you're a kid
story.
and you latch onto something like that, that's just
Yeah.
how it is. Like I was with that with the Harry Potter books. I think I read like all the way up until like halfway through the fifth one when I was a kid, and then I read like all the Lord of the Rings books, The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit was cool. Um, Nowadays everything I read has pictures in it because I just read comic books.
Yes.
I read a lot of comic books, a lot of comic books, but
Do you
those are
like
still
Garth
interesting too,
Ennis?
man. Like graphic novels are really cool. It's almost like a book in itself because you get just like a really long superhero story.
Oh, bro, I'll recommend you some very crazy comic books very quickly. You need to read. Have you read any Crossed?
No,
Okay, you need to read Crossed. Have you read Preacher?
no,
All right, you need to read Crossed. You need to read Preacher. Have you read any of the Max series from Marvel, like Punisher Max or Wolverine Max?
no.
All right, so those are R-rated like comic books that they made. They did Deadpool Max, Punisher Max, which was a spanned a long series. These are all done. Well, not all of them, but the Punisher Max was done by Garth Ennis, the first arc. He's the guy that writes Crossed. Crossed is like the most fucked up comic that I've ever read, but it's so compelling because it does such a crazy spin on the zombie like thing, zombie apocalypse or whatever. So
Right.
what Crossed does is say you get crossed, right? You get a fucking cross like burned on. It's like a rash, a skin rash that forms a cross on your face and it looks disgusting, right? And it doesn't just make you a zombie. You still are smart. It just makes you extremely sadistic. And
What the
all
fuck?
you wanted, yeah, like the cross just torture people. They do crazy shit. One thing that the cross do in one of the comics, which is the fucking craziest thing, because all they have to do is like touch you, like like get their germs on you, right? Um, there was one scene from Across, and this is like a very tame scene from that comic book. It's the most twisted comic I've ever read. I read it years ago, and like it's almost like overly edgy to me now, but still it's really good. Really good storytelling. So there's this one scene where they're like four survivors and they're like laying on this cliff and they're looking through binoculars and they're like, what are the cross doing over there? Because they're watching a bunch of cross in a circle, right? And
Yeah.
the cross are all whacking it in a circle on a bucket of ammunition so that way they can shoot people and get them crossed too.
What
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
fuck?
you got to check it out, bro.
Oh
It's
my
it is
god.
it is insane. It is disgusting. It's
Ugh,
such a cool comic.
that is
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of like I don't know. I mean a lot of Marvel. Batman, really anything Batman. You put anything Batman in front of me, I'm all about it.
Oh yeah.
I gotta at least check it out.
You have Arkham Asylum?
I don't. I do have I have mostly graphic novels. I have like Dark Knight Returns. I have like I was on the Nightfall collection the last time I bought a comic.
Do you
So I
have the
have the beginning of
Batman?
Nightfall.
You have the Batman Who Laughs?
I don't, but I have Killing Joke. I have
Ah,
Killing Joke and I have Death in the Family. Death in the Family was the one where Joker killed Robin.
yes. Yep, that one's crazy. Isn't Red
Yeah, I
Hood
have
in
that
there
one.
too?
Huh?
Red Hood. Where's the one where like Batman? No, wait, no. I'm thinking about Injustice now. I'm getting it like crossed up because
Oh
I
yeah.
know that you've seen Superman kill Joker.
I haven't actually.
So like basically Joker kills Lois Lane like with a bomb and then
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and
Yes.
Superman just straight up like puts him up against the wall and then just like pulls out his guts.
If there's one thing about Batman, anything, I will say this: DC goes hard on their animated Batman anything.
Oh yeah, dude,
Any
that
any animated Batman you find on streaming, that shit's cool.
Batman Samurai was my favorite one.
Yeah, that was
That shit
Batman
was,
Ninja.
yeah, that was
Yeah, that was a
sick.
good one.
That
That
was
one was sick
sick.
as fuck.
My
That was a
wife
good.
came in and was like, because I had the WB streaming service before it became HBO Max, and
Yeah,
yeah, I was like watching it, and she's like, "What the fuck is this? Like Batman's in
they
Japan?"
just like created a whole like anime world of Gotham City.
Yeah, dude, that
The one
was
I really like, and it's because I'm a huge nerd, is the Ninja Turtles Batman crossover because it's also a double parter. There's two parts to that
yeah.
one,
And the
and
comic Ninja Turtles are way different than the TV show Ninja Turtles too.
way different.
They're
Yeah,
way
comic Ninja
badass.
Turtles are way different. They're on the level of Batman, I would say.
Yeah, they're
'Cause
freaking.
Batman's pretty edgy sometimes.
Oh yeah, Court of Owls was one of my favorite arcs. It was when the New 52 happened, and like Court of Owls is the one where there's like Illuminati type people watching Batman, and like the Joker like cuts his face off, remember, and then like
Yeah,
puts it on another guy. It was just,
yeah.
oh god, I remember reading that week to week as it came out, and yeah, it was sick, dude. Like Batman is definitely like one of the best comics.
Batman, yeah, honestly, you can't go wrong with
It's like, why
Batman.
do they keep fucking up the movies? Like literally,
I
like,
wouldn't say they fuck them up. There's just
nah,
Batman
bro.
is you can't
Martha, why did you say that? How did you know that name?
you didn't like that Batman?
How? Wait. So you're telling me Batman and Superman are gonna beat the shit out of each other? Like they're gonna beat the shit out of each
Are we
other?
talking about Ben Affleck Batman?
No, I'm talking about, yeah, but I'm not saying that was a bad Batman. I'm saying that was a bad movie because they're beating the shit
Yeah,
out
it
of each
wasn't the
other,
greatest.
and he goes, Martha, and he's like, how did you know that name? And he's like, that's my mother's name too. And then they're like, cool. I'm like, what? Like, no, that's so stupid. It's, bro, it's so
Okay. The only reason
dumb.
I like that Batman is because they modeled the suit and the idea of that Batman after the Frank Miller Batman. Frank Miller was the guy who did like Sin City and shit. Like,
But
I like that
make the
Batman
story good
because it's
though.
like old guy Batman almost.
The comic books have the best, like literally just take the comic book, like how they did Old Man Logan when they did
I have that one
yeah,
too.
when they did the Logan movie.
Yeah,
So they just took the comic and then put it on the screen and kept it
basically,
abridged.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what they need to fucking do with Batman. It's like just
yeah,
take a arc out of the comic, like the Damien arc, bro. When he has the
yeah,
son who's killing
yeah.
people,
That
just
would,
take that,
dude. People would eat that shit up
just
in a
and
movie
make it
theater.
R-rated. Make it R-rated. He's a crazy
Yep.
ass little Robin. No, we have to do PG-13 because it does better. And that is not the thing. People are still going to take their kids to see the fucked up Batman movie, and they're all going to love it because what kid in America did not see Deadpool and love it when it
Yeah,
came out?
yeah,
We
for
brought
real.
my nephew, he was like 9 years old, and he's like, I want to fucking see Deadpool. So we took him. When the boobies come out, you cover his eyes. That's what you do in the
Yeah,
theater. You go, here you go. You can't see that. You can't see that part. My dad took me to see fucking Gladiator when I was a kid.
yeah.
That movie was so badass. That was like one of the best fucking movies. And it's
I
just,
mean, I was honestly watching. Speaking of comic books, I was catching up on. This might be a hot take. Uh, Walking Dead.
oh
A
yeah,
lot of people
Walking
don't.
Dead's good.
A
The
lot of people
comic's
don't
good.
like it.
The
A lot of
comic's
people
good.
don't like it. The comic is amazing
Yeah.
compared to the show.
The show
The
sucks.
comic, the comic will always
The
overshadow
show
it.
started good, and then they,
But I will say, like I've invested so much time into that show that it's like I just got to see how it finishes.
yeah.
I just
No,
got to see it through.
it's
I've
still
seen.
not done. I thought they were
I
done.
think I just found out it is now, but
Okay.
there's a season that I think is not on streaming services right now. They just aired the last episode, I believe, like last November or something,
You can,
from what I heard.
here's what you can do. You can stop watching The Walking Dead. You can go on, and everybody listening can do this too. Download HBO Max. If you don't have a subscription, stop being a cheap ass. Get a subscription to HBO Max and watch The Last of Us.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another game
It
based TV show.
it just came out on Sunday night. It's new episodes Sunday nights. First episode is out, and it is the most compelling fucking show that I have seen since. I mean, I just started watching Sopranos again, right? I just watched all of Breaking Bad. Well, this
Greatest
is my first
TV
time.
show ever made. Goated.
Yeah, yeah.
Calling it now. Goated. I've stood by that for years.
This is up there. This is up there. This is like one of those like when the first episode's an hour and a half because it sets the world up for you, right? And I was pissed off there wasn't a second episode for me to watch, or I couldn't just binge it. I was like, I will stay up till fucking 5 a.m. binging this series and go to work tired as shit tomorrow if I had the option to. But no, they're drip feeding, 1 week at a time when it premieres on HBO. Get HBO Max and watch The Last of Us episode 1. It is phenomenal. It is, bro, it's the best.
I'm actually going to watch that tonight now that I think about it.
Yeah, you have HBO Max?
HBO Max. I didn't even know. I never thought to like actually go and watch it. I haven't had a lot of time lately.
Watch it tonight. We'll talk about it next week too. That's something I want to talk about weekly on here. And yeah, I don't want to give any spoilers, so we'll recap the first episode and I guess the second. We'll recap the first 2 episodes next week because if you'll probably catch it this weekend or in between this episode 2 because it's that good of a show. You watch it and you're like bro, it like.
So there's only 1 episode right now.
There's only 1, but it's an hour and a half, and that shit will make you cry, my friend.
Dang.
It's like powerful. It's such a good show. Yeah, definitely. And it captures. Here's the thing that's great about it. Did you ever play The Last of Us? You ever play the game?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know the story. You played through it, like the whole thing.
I didn't play the whole entire game, but I got the idea. Like I played a little bit of it.
So they did the same story, but they did it like I thought they were gonna do the show like I thought they were gonna like I didn't know what the fuck to expect. I just watched the Resident Evil show that Netflix did, and I was like 2 episodes in. I'm like, this is stupid as fuck.
Yeah,
it's about Wesker and his daughters, and like it doesn't even make any sense. And they're living in this umbrella city. It was stupid. It was
I never gave that one a chance. I didn't even start it,
bro. It was almost as bad as like the Resident Evil movies. Like the Resident Evil movies are good. I
like the movies.
They're not Resident Evil though. Like the Resident Evil movies are good in their own thing. Yeah, like they're good good films. Good movies, but not
great action films.
They're not great Resident Evil movies. Literally, they're just like, hey, look, it's Chris Redfield. Fucking now it's a Resident Evil movie. No, motherfucker. Like what Chris Redfield could walk in here into this room right now,
and this would now be a Resident Evil.
And
movie.
It would be a Resident Evil movie if on the same terms of how they fucking did that movie. Apocalypse was the closest one, the second one, but I digress. So what they did with this one is they stayed faithful to the story, and it almost feels like you're watching like the director's cut of the Last of Us story. Like they added to it. They took everything that was great, they added to it, and then they switch up certain shit that you expect that's going to happen, but it still gets you to point B that happened in the game. And they did it. I guess the guy that wrote it said, my only thing is you have to let me be in the writer's room with this shit, and or who directed it or whatever. And they were like, okay, you can do that. And they did justice to The Last of Us. So yeah, definitely check out The Last of Us on HBO Max.
Yeah, and I'm definitely watching that tonight.
Bro, yeah, you can message me fucking when you're done tonight and just say what you think, like out of 10, and then we'll dive into it next week on the show. But yeah, man. And then so Exodus fucking didn't make it, huh?
Yeah, okay, so I kind of wanted to touch on that, back on the topic of metal. I went to the Anthrax Black Label Society Exodus show the other night.
In this river shall fade to black.
Yeah, again, I will say Black Label Society, a lot of talent, like very talented musicians. Very cool, like near and dear, mostly just because I was always a big fan of Ozzy. I mean, I love Ozzy, but yeah, Black Label Society is one of those bands that I feel like, in my opinion, I only needed to see maybe one time.
Would you say Zach Wild is the Wish version of Dimebag Daryl?
Did you just make that up?
Yeah, yeah.
That was pretty funny. No, I mean, I he's a great guitarist. He
Yeah,
really
he
is.
is. He is. He
He's
is.
amazing,
But
and the whole band
but
is like full of talented people.
uh,
But
nah, I know. I'll
it's
say
just
what I was gonna say later. Go.
like my opinion. I saw him once. The first time I saw him, I still stand by what I said about that show. It was the loudest show I'd ever been to. The loudest set I'd ever seen was Black Label Society that night. The same night Black Dahlia Murder had trouble with their set. Um,
So it was them. It was you, Zach Wild. You fucking made them turn the amps up too loud, and nobody could fucking hear anybody.
but Anthrax was really cool. And honestly, I got closer to the stage for Anthrax. I had to. I mean, Scott Ian is a great guitar player. It's really cool to see him and Charlie Benanti, amazing drummer.
How old are those guys now, man?
I mean,
They
Scott
were
Ian's
old when
beard
I
is
was young.
completely white, so
Yeah.
he's gone from Anthrax the black beard to Anthrax the white beard.
You know what I love about death metal though, or not even death metal, but just like
Just
more
metal in
extreme.
general.
Yeah, metal in general. It doesn't matter how old you get in metal. Like your shit is always
Nah.
good. Like if you're like Taking Back Sunday, like we were talking about it on last week's episode.
Yeah.
Like Taking Back Sunday was fucking terrible. Like that is like you can't do that music for your whole life. Like Motley Crue, you can't do that music
No way.
when you're 40. Girls, girls, girls. Like you're gonna be
Yeah,
old
no.
as hell saying
It doesn't
like they're
translate the
not
same.
girls anymore. They're women now. Like
Yeah.
they're old women now.
Yeah. But yeah, so Exodus ended
Yeah.
up not being able to make that show, and there was a lot of mixed reviews about that
Why
because
couldn't they make it?
so they're coming from the Bay Area, I'm assuming, obviously. This I don't know for sure. This is just my assumption, what I would think in my head from what I've heard. Also, apparently there was some bad weather at Donner's Pass. So when you're coming from the Bay Area to Idaho, you can go through Donner's
Yeah,
Pass, I
you have. That's
guess.
the way through Reno. That's the main way to get unless you're driving straight up through Washington, which I
Right.
mean is the alternate way, but it's not
But that takes
as.
longer.
Yeah, there was a crazy storm. That makes sense. I believe that.
So okay, so that makes sense, right? Not a
Yeah,
big deal. Weather happens. We can't control the weather.
yeah.
Here's the flip side, and there was actually a big conversation about this in comments that I saw on Facebook.
Huh.
Um, the other side of that is it was the first night of the entire tour. So, that being said, musicians who have traveled before in their lives would probably check the weather if they're going to be traveling soon, correct?
Yeah.
So if had they checked the weather just to make sure they're going to be at the first show of their tour on time ahead of time, they would have seen, hey, maybe there's some bad weather coming up and we should leave a day early so we can make it.
You know,
But I can see both sides of it. I can see
here's
both sides of it.
here's what I'll tell you too. Storms weren't that fucking bad out here. Like I'm in the middle of the storm, bro. It wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't that fucking bad. Like you just take fucking 1-on-1 and you just straight shot it straight up. I don't know what's going on. But I do know, little fun fact, my dad knows the dude from Exodus.
Who? Which
The
one?
the lead singer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he rides. So my dad does like motorcycle runs and shit, and I guess he met him.
Really?
Yeah, because he's a biker too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Exodus, and honestly, like I can see both sides of that story kind of to an extent. If that was the case with what happened, I can see both sides to it.
Yeah.
Do I particularly like care at the end of the day? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it sucks because I wanted to see Exodus, but like I went to the show anyways. Like it was a free ticket,
Yeah.
so I went anyways. But
Exodus is better than Metallica.
um, that's a tough call for me. Exodus has a lot more music I'll listen to.
Who would you rather
A lot more variety.
Who would you rather spend a summer with in a cabin?
Oh, definitely not Metallica. No, no, definitely not. But yeah, they didn't make it. That was kind of a bummer. A lot of people were kind of sad about that. It was kind of funny, and I say it in good spirits as a joke, but like Black Label Society was playing, and I looked at my buddy who it was my friend Tegan from Texas Academy, and he happened to be there too.
Yeah.
And I saw him, and I was like, "Isn't this that band? Aren't they called like supposed to be Exodus or something?"
Yeah.
So that was it was just a joke, but like Black Label Society put on a great set, and so did Anthrax. But it still would have been really fucking cool to see Exodus.
Did Black Label Society fucking play In This River?
Yeah,
Bro, do they
I
play
feel
it
like it's
every
just
time you
something
see
he
them?
always does.
Does he play the solo the same?
He plays the piano,
So he plays the piano. Yeah, but he does the solo, right? Like,
like the guitar solo.
yeah, the
No,
He
no,
only
the
plays
other
it on
guitar
piano.
player plays it.
What? Zach Wild don't even play the solo on the
The
fucking In
first
This
time I
River?
saw them with Black Dahlia Murder, I feel like he did play the solo. He played the piano, and then he played the solo, and then he played the piano again.
He said, "In
But
this river all shall fade to black. In
yeah,
this river ain't
yeah,
no coming back. In this
yeah.
river all shall fade
Oh my
to
god. Yeah, that's I won't say that's
black."
my favorite song. There's songs on that album that were bangers for sure
That's the
though.
only Black Label song, Black Label Society
Oh,
song
dude,
that I
here's what you
liked.
do. The next time you're driving, make sure you're good to drive and capable of getting from A to B no matter what, obviously.
What, you think I'm getting?
And
I'm just so drunk.
no, I'm just saying,
Like
I'm
I
just
gotta
saying.
fucking be drunk
Because
to
I don't
drive.
know, sometimes music and driving go hand in hand, man.
What?
Like if
Yeah,
I'm
but
on
I
an, I
don't.
mean, I live in areas where there's like not a lot of people on the road sometimes, so like you can just gun it if nobody's around. But I don't do that.
Yeah.
Anyways, next time you're in the car, turn your volume up really loud and play the song Fire It Up because that's a heavy hitter. It really is.
Bro, that's a song title like that just reminds me of like Rev Theory, like that band I told you about. Like, fired up, fired
No,
up. Like,
it's pretty cool. It's like Black Label Society I would put in the vein of like Pantera or like Ozzy Osbourne.
well, isn't that like what Black Label Society is? Like
Pretty much.
living in the
Yeah, pretty
shadow
much. Like
of
that's
Pantera
like
and Ozzy
really
Osbourne.
yeah, that's really like all I can compare it to.
You know, Dimebag would have. Do you think Dimebag would have been a better guitarist for Ozzy than Zach Wild?
I don't know.
You
I
don't
don't
want
think
to answer
so.
that. You're like
I
one
don't
day
think
we're
so.
one
I
day
don't think
we're
so.
gonna be famous for this shit, and Zach Wild is just gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I know these guys. I've seen them. I'm gonna listen to fucking." And then one of his boys is gonna say, "Hear what these fucking dudes were saying about you earlier on the podcast, bro." And it's gonna be like after he hooks us up with like backstage shit. Like we're gonna be
And
like,
hella coffee.
yeah, hella coffee, hella Black Label coffee, and fucking we're like sponsored at that point, and then we get the
Yeah.
sponsorship pooled because someone digs this up about
We all
fucking
got beanies with horns.
yeah. I know that's it. We're just fucking like on Zach Wild's nuts, like in the future, like just like hardcore, because he's like the only guy that's down. He makes us, and then he's like, "I made your careers. I'm going to take it all the way now because you called me a wish dime bag. I'm a wish dime bag, huh? Well, you know what's gonna happen to your career." All
You're
shall
gonna wish you had it
fade
back.
to black. Yeah, you wish you had it back. In this river, all shall fade to black.
It was a great show. It was a great show. I will say that. Anthrax was probably the best. They were the first best part, really, for me. They were the coolest part.
Yeah.
Exodus probably would have been my favorite thing to see, but
Did they? Doesn't Anthrax do that song? Bring the noise.
yeah,
Did they do that?
yeah.
Shut the
It's
fuck
cool
up.
because
How do they
it's
do it
cool because
without Public Enemy?
they just only played part of it. So
Uh,
this is what basically they played. I feel like they played like maybe 7 or 8 songs,
they really played Bring the Noise. That I was
but
joking.
they only added that in there. You
They
know what I
did
mean?
turn it
Like
up. Bring the
they
noise.
basically yeah, they basically like stretched out a bunch of songs into like other songs.
You know, it's cool when bands do that because it's like you get to see all the songs you know by them. But
Yeah.
like sometimes I like see a band and I like really know them. Like I really am a fan, and I'm like, just play the one song that like
Right.
I want to hear, like the one off the album that I really like. Like with Black
Yeah.
Dahlia Murder, it's Miscarriage. I'm like, just fucking play Miscarriage one time. They hate that song. I think they hate. They didn't like that album that they did. That's why they only play Miasma. Like, bro, if you're gonna play something off Miasma, I don't want you to play Miasma. Like
Yeah.
play Statutory Ape. That's a good song.
Yeah.
Play Miscarriage, and then play A Vulgar Picture. Like that's a good song
Yeah.
too.
That's a great song.
Don't play you don't gotta play Miasma for Miasma, but that's like the song that everybody likes. So
Yeah.
you know,
True.
I like
Yeah.
Dave Goes to Hollywood, to be honest, but apparently
Yeah.
like I read a post from a guy. He said that he went and talked to them after the show and was like, yo, how come you don't play that? That's like my favorite song. And he said Trevor and Brian proceeded to explain to him why that song sucks ass. And it's like, that's why they don't play
They
it.
hate it.
Yeah, they hate
Okay,
that
they hate
song.
it.
So,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah.
no. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I will say I have a buddy who went to this last obituary tour with Amon Amarth and Cattle Decapitation and Carcass,
Yeah.
and he was disappointed because they didn't play any of his favorite songs. He said he was outside smoking a cigarette. He heard Redneck Stomp, and by the time he could make his way back inside, it was over. And then they played nothing. He was like, they didn't play anything off of Cause of Death. They didn't play anything off of Slowly We Rot or Slowly You Rot. Like they didn't play any of the old school stuff. They
Yeah.
played mostly like newer obituary stuff.
We're
So
going
I
to
was
play
like,
our entire new album tonight.
which was actually really good. I will say
Yeah.
that. It was amazing. But
I
yeah,
was
he was
kind
really
of
upset about
scared
that.
when I saw Black Dahlia after the pandemic because I was like, "Fuck!" Like, Verminous it's a great album, but
Yeah.
I had listened to it so much at that point. I was like, "Fuck! Are they just gonna play Verminous? Like, I hope they play something else." And they
Oh,
literally played all the bangers off of every album. And the
yeah.
coolest thing is they
They
changed
pull
the
all the
light.
stops.
Yeah, the lighting changed for each album.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was awesome, bro. That was
Yeah.
like the final touch. Like I was like,
Yeah, Black Dahlia is a very great band, like
like
especially live.
yeah, man. That shit's I love seeing that, man. You know, when you get that fan service to some extent. And then yeah, have I heard of Ceremonium?
So
Uh
I did want to I so this goes back to the Spotify playlist. I need to add this to there. That's what I was planning on doing. This came out last year and it totally flew under my radar until today.
really?
Literally today. Ceremonium is it's exactly how the name sounds. So have you heard Troll Cave yet?
No, I haven't heard Troll Cave yet.
Okay. So the best way I can put it then is it's just death doom. It's funeral death
Do
doom.
they sound
It's
like Sanctuarium?
uh yeah,
Do they
yeah,
sound
kind
like
of.
Telluric Effluvium?
Like Stench Collector?
No, Telluric Effluvium doesn't sound like Stench Collector. Does it?
No. Oh, I've never heard of them.
Yeah. No, Telluric Effluvium is like very like funeral doom, like literally funeral doom, like to the funeral. Like it sounds like an actual. It doesn't just sound like funeral doom. It sounds
Yeah, that's this
like
I
an
just thought it was the
actual.
Stench Collector album.
No, yeah, no, they're a band. And
Okay.
it's funny though that you said that because you know what Telluric Effluvium means, right?
No.
Literally, it means earth stench. So I thought that was funny that you said, "Oh, is that the album by a Stench Collector?"
Oh,
Because it
okay.
means earth stench, and I'm like, that would make sense if that was a Stench Collector album. Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they it sounds like the funeral is going on when you listen to it. Like
Yeah,
you got to check it out. It's a
I dig that kind of stuff.
side project. It's on Transylvania and it's a side project of Monumental Discharge. Believe it or not.
Oh,
And it's
no
straight
way.
funeral doom. Yeah, and they fucking did it really good. Kevin Burstler on the
Really?
guitar, man. Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that then,
Yeah.
because I love Monumental Discharge.
I got both of their tapes. You got to be patient. You got to smoke one out to it and just really like drift away with it. You're going to like it.
I love that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, Ceremonium was really good. I was honestly very upset it flew under my radar like that because it's pretty fucking heavy.
Put it add it to the playlist. I'll give it a listen. I have heard of the name, but it's another one of those bands that has like blended in together. Like the name has blended in. Like what was the one? Mortiferum,
Yeah.
Ceremonium, Phobophilic is very different, but the artwork was kind of similar. Like just you know what it is? I don't know if I just have bad vision, but like for example, like the funeral vomit, the artwork is so dark on the funeral vomit that like at a glance, like I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Like I have to
Yeah.
look at it, you know?
It's
And
got really deep reds and blacks.
Mortiferum is the same way. Like I was like, I don't even know what's going on here. Same thing with the phobophilic artwork. It's like I
Yeah.
have to fucking stare at it, you know? It's like Gruesome Graphics when he does his art, it like pops out and you're like, oh, okay, I know what's going on here. But yeah, like that's the artwork where there's like it's just such it's very blended. Like I've noticed that. Like I don't know, just thinking out loud.
I will say, all the Mortiferum artwork I've ever seen, I loved.
Yeah.
That's one band in particular that the artwork is that besides like Undeath, the artwork on everything Mortiferum has done has been
Oh yeah, no,
awesome.
I'm not saying it's not sick too. Like I
No,
think
but
it's
I know what
dope.
you mean. It
You gotta
has
like
that
look at it.
distinct kind of like look to it.
I gotta make out what's going on there. Like and think about
Right.
it for a second. It's not like the undeath. Like oh, that's a dude getting his head chopped off with an axe.
Right.
Like you know, or like death. Like that's a leper.
Yeah, you got to figure out what you're looking at.
Yeah, I gotta like. It's like one of those like what's it called? It's the what's that shit called? Where you're looking at something, a magic eye. But yeah, shit, man. So, uh, I know we have one more thing on the list, but I am ready to wrap up today's episode. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to say one more time, everybody in the comments, or everybody listening on Spotify or on YouTube, please go check out the Spotify playlist and listen to the shit
Yeah.
that we were talking about. Next week, we're going to talk more about death metal. We're going to get into our recaps of the Last of Us episodes. If you haven't seen the Last of Us episode 1 and 2, go check that out now, and you can watch it with us as we watch the series. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. You know, what I want you to tell me is, do you agree with my take that Zach Wilde is a Wish Dimebag Daryl? I don't know. Am I right?
He might be. Who knows?
Yep. And should Dirt
That's up
Riffs?
to you.
The other question too is, should Dirt Riffs shave the beard? He's gonna shave the beard only if he gets the request to do it in the chat.
The mustache isn't going anywhere. I will clarify that.
The mustache will stay.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's a firm stay.
Well, all right. It's been another great episode of Dirty Death Podcast. Everybody have a great night. And what do we say? What should we say at the end of every episode? We should say something like the same thing every time.
Fuck. I don't know, man. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I love you.